Have you heard about Sarasota, Florida, the destination with the whitest sand on earth? Have you dreamed of moving here and you want to know what it would actually cost to live here? Like the real cost of living here? Well, I'm Lyndsey Ashley and I am a native born and raised, so I understand and know what it takes to live, work, and survive in a tourist and retirement town like Sarasota. And if you want to know the real truth about what it takes to live in Sarasota, Florida, then you need to stay tuned. Before we begin, consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell. If you are serious about purchasing, selling, or investing a home here in Florida, you'll want to stay up to date with all of my future videos with the helpful information about this amazing housing market we have in the Sunshine State of Florida. So thank you for subscribing. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm Lyndsey Ashley with Keller Williams Realty Select, and I'm a realtor here in the beautiful Sunshine State of Florida. And I have another very important topic I want to discuss with you today: the cost of living in Sarasota, Florida. When you look at living expenses for any area, you have to consider a variety of expenses, including housing, utilities, transportation, food, healthcare, and some other things. Here's what you need to know about Sarasota. The housing expenses are 2% higher than the national average, and the utility prices are 6% higher than the national average. Transportation, like bus fares and gas prices, are much lower here, about 8%. Additionally, Sarasota has grocery prices that are 20% higher than the national average. And healthcare here, it's also about 17% higher. Overall, this is a slight increase from last year, about 1.5%, and it's a little bit higher than the national average in terms of overall living expenses. But hey, I got some good news for you. Since Florida doesn't have state income tax, you can keep some of that hard-earned money and cover some of these expenses to boot. Another thing to think about is that it's all relative. If you're coming from out of state, let's say San Francisco, you might notice that Sarasota's costs a lot less than where you came from. But this isn't true for every other city or town, but hear me out. If you're coming from Washington, D.C., Miami, Chicago, or even New York City, you're going to save a lot of money living in Sarasota when it comes to living expenses, and now you're living in the beautiful coast. On average, as of October 5th, the average full-time salary for a person working in Sarasota was a little over $44,000. Here's the thing though, salaries can sometimes go over $200,000. It all depends on what you do for a living. The big industries in this area are education, trade, transportation, and tourism-related things like hospitality and restaurants. Healthcare is also a big one, with facilities such as Venice Regional, Inglewood Community Hospital, Sarasota Memorial, and the Doctors Hospital of Sarasota, providing jobs for many residents. So now that you've got the bills sorted out and the salaries accounted for, what about the housing market? To put it simply, when the supply of homes doesn't pace with the demand for properties in a given area, the value of those properties in that area will increase over time. And if this continues to happen over a long period of time, you may see significant increases in property value and subsequently living expenses as well for homeowners and residents. According to Linda Gorman from the National Bureau of Economic Research, with more relatively wealthy people bidding on a limited housing stock, the price of entry-level houses and the price to rent ratio accelerates when cities fill up to approach superstar status. So entry-level prices and the price to rent ratio also increase at higher rates when the number of high-income families increases nationally. So what does that mean? Families with a higher level of income will likely fare just fine when looking for properties in the area. However, families that are working with a lower level of income may have a harder time finding properties in a given area that fall within their budgetary restrictions. So for potential home buyers with the budget available, you might wonder what the housing market looks like at this time. Across Sarasota's neighborhoods, there are over 3,000 homes for sale, ranging from 4,000 to 15 million, and over 200 of these were newly listed within the last week. The median listing home price per square foot is $197. The sold home price, $313,000. So $313,000 is what it was sold for, $350,000 is what you listed for. If we compare that with 2017, there is a marked increase in these values over time. For instance, the median list price in 2017 was $299,000 and the median sold price was $249,000. That's an increase of over 25% in the median sold price in just 3 years. Based on this data, we can comfortably state that Sarasota is currently experiencing a seller's market. And as we've discussed in our previous videos, This means that there are more people interested in buying than there are actual properties. That's why prices have climbed so aggressively during this time frame, and it goes back to supply and demand. Now, if we look at the amount of time that homes spend on the market, there has actually been a slight increase in this value from 2017. So in September 2017, the median days on market was about 69, and in August of this year, it was about 79. So what does all of this data actually mean for potential home buyers? Well, the competitive markets can affect your buying experience in a number of ways. When you find a home you like in a seller's market, you've got to act quickly. Why? Because the demand of homes is high and you're competing with other buyers for that property you've got your eye on. And the reality is that some of those homes you consider will get multiple offers from them. Additionally, this can all happen in a matter of days. For more information on how to win in a competitive market, check out this video. Particularly hot homes can sell around their list price and go pending in around 8 days or less. That's not very much time for a home to be on the market. And like I said, you need to act quickly. Additionally, you need to come to the market prepared to pay close to the asking price. The fact of the matter is homes in the Sarasota area sell for about 3% below list price on average. So if a home is listed at $350,000, that means you're probably going to pay around $339,000 or so for that property. Sometimes you might even pay over the asking price, as 11.3% of homes sold in Sarasota in the last year have been sold over list price. When you're ready to act quickly and you've got the budget to match, you're now playing a different ball game. That means you're ready to start making some real estate purchases that can really up your game financially. If you're ready for it, what am I talking about? Investment properties. Investment properties are big here in Sarasota and can take many forms, and finding the right property isn't always easy unless you have the right realtor helping you out. When you're considering a home purchase in a seller's market, you might think that all deals are out the window. That's not necessarily true. There are still deals to be had, but you've got to act quickly and put your money where your mouth is. Some of you might be wondering, what do I mean by an investment property? So an investment property is a real estate property purchased with the intention of earning a return on the investment, either through rental income, the future resale of the property, or even both. The property may be held by an individual investor, a group of investors, or even a corporation. Buying an investment property can serve multiple purposes. Maybe you want to buy a property in the beautiful Sunshine State to invest your money, but also have a nice vacation property to visit once in a while. Or perhaps you're buying with the intention of renting out the home to build your equity and develop another income stream. Whatever the case may be, Sarasota has that kind of opportunity available if you can afford it. These type of properties generally fall under 3 categories. The first category is residential, and rental homes would fall under this category. This means you'd be purchasing the property to turn around and rent it to tenants and collect rent on a monthly basis. And many types of properties can be used for this purpose, such as a single family home, condos, townhomes, and apartments. The second category is commercial. Sometimes investors buy properties to rent to tenants, but they don't look at residential clientele. Instead, they shift their focus to the commercial sector. Sure, you might run into additional expenses for maintenance and improvements to these properties, but commercial rent is typically much higher than your average rental price in a given area, especially here in Sarasota. Our third category, mixed use, can be used for both residential and commercial purposes. Have you ever seen those buildings that have stores on the first level and then residential properties on the higher levels? That's exactly what we're talking about here, and they are going up like wildfire in Sarasota. At the end of the day, the cost of living in Sarasota can be considered on the higher end of the spectrum. But if you've got the means to purchase the property in the area, there are ample opportunities available to invest in the local real estate, provided you can dedicate the time and energy to securing a property in the seller's market we have today. One thing is certain, if you plan to take that next step to buy a property in Sarasota, you're gonna need to have the help of an experienced realtor that knows the market inside and out. I am Lyndsey Ashley with Keller Williams Realty Select, and if you're looking for a realtor to help you with your next home purchase or sale, head on over to my website, www.lyndseyashley.com, and you can schedule a free call with me to talk about your plans to buy, sell, or invest. So contact me today so we can work together to find a home that you love. You can even get a free home evaluation, just ask me how. All right, everyone, that just about does it for today's video on the cost of living in Sarasota, Florida. Are you considering buying a home in Sarasota? What is your opinion of the cost of living in the area? Let us know in the comments below. See you in the next video.